Good morning, guys. I say good morning because I'm recording this video at like 7 o'clock in the morning because Prince decided to wake up extra early. But today is the 30th of June, aka the Saturday before the 4th of July. And my family, we always get together, have a big cookout for the 4th of July. And so this year we're going to have it today instead of on the 4th, because the 4th is like a Wednesday. So today I wanted to make on video what I'm going to be making for the 4th. So I'm going to be making a pineapple strawberry salsa. So I'm just going to dive right in and wash my hands first. Okay, so I'm gonna get my ingredients out and I'll show you guys those first. So first thing, I just got back from Walmart. So the first thing, that's Prince, you'll have to excuse him. He wants you guys to know he's here too. So the first thing is a pineapple. Pretty little pineapple. I love how the top of it looks. Then I have a pound of strawberries. I have Princeton's new shoes. That's funny. I have some fresh cilantro. I have a red onion, a lime, a jalapeno, 2 of the Roma tomatoes. And then I'm going to be using the Tostitos lime chips for, eat the salsa with once it's all done. Okay. So, I'm going to get a bowl and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got my chopping board and I got my knife. I'm going to start off with cutting the pineapple up first, just because I feel like it'll be the hardest thing, and I'll go ahead and get that over with. Everything else should be smooth sailing. I just clipped this off of the pineapple, and it has like little serving, I don't know if y'all can see, little serving instructions, like I guess helping me out with how to cut it. So we're gonna see if that works. First I'm gonna do is try to cut the crown off. I don't recommend this for kids. Now I've heard that if you put this in some water, it will like regrow or like make some roots, so that way you could plant it and like regrow pineapple. I don't know. I'm not really interested in regrowing a pineapple, so I'm just gonna toss it. I also got some sausage on the stove, some turkey sausage for Prince for his breakfast. But I'll have to be checking on as well. I'll let y'all see this. I got it open. So this pineapple smells amazing. Like, it smells really sweet. I never know when picking out like a watermelon or like things of that nature, even strawberries really. I never know, like, you know, if you're getting a good one or like it's gonna be sweet. I've heard different little things, like if you, like with a watermelon, like flicking it or whatever. Oh, actually, my hair is in my face. I don't actually know if that stuff works, but if you have any like remedies, please drop them below. Let me check on this sausage. Alright, it's doing okay. Now, I've never peeled a, I don't know if that's the word I want to use. I think it's quarter pineapple. I think that's the proper term for what I'm doing. Regardless, never done this before. If you know an easier way, you can comment that below too. This is also my first time making this recipe. So I hope it's yummy. I found the recipe on Facebook. One of my friends had shared it, and I was like, oh, that looks yummy. So I'll be right back. Let me go check on Prince. Okay, so this is the last little bit of the pineapple. I'm just gonna scoop it up and put it in there. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of get rid of all this pineapple juice. Okay, so I just finished the pineapple. I got it all chopped up and all chopped up and in the bowl. So now I'm about to rinse the strawberries off. It says to use a pound, and this container says it's a pound, so I guess that means, you know, use the whole thing. So I'm gonna rinse them all off. And then I'm gonna cut these strawberries up. So far I've done like the fruit aspects. Next I'm gonna do like the onions and the tomatoes and stuff to like really turn it into a salsa. So I'm gonna start off with cutting the top off of all of them. I'll do like an assembly line, so that way once I start like chopping stuff up, I don't have to like stop and cut the tops off of all of them. I can just kind of go. I tried to get like red strawberries, hoping that they were gonna be like extra sweet. Cause this salsa, it says like to add salt as well. So it's gonna be like a sweet and salty mixture if the strawberries and pineapple are sweet. And if they're not, it's gonna be like a sweet and sour. But I will come back to you once I finish the strawberries. So this is what I have so far, just the strawberries and the pineapple in there. And yeah, so now I'm gonna cut up the tomatoes. So now I'm gonna cut up the tomatoes. The tomatoes I'm using are the romaine, or it's like it's R-O-M-A, Roma tomatoes? I don't know. We'll go with that. I'm gonna rinse them off first. And I'll let you see them. So these are the tomatoes. They're kind of like the longer ones. They're not really in perfect circles. So I'm gonna cut these tomatoes up and then add them to the recipe. And I'm using like a 1 bowl. Like, you know how they have those meals that are like a 1 skillet meal? I'm using 1 bowl. So that way the juices and stuff can combine together. And give it that nice taste for the salsa. So just doing the tomatoes now, and then after the tomatoes I will do the onions, and then the cilantro. Then I'll squeeze some lime juice on top, and we'll have some salsa. Stay tuned. So right now I believe the word they use is mincing the jalapeno, and it asks for half, so I cut it in half. It's the inside of it, and so I'm mincing up half of it. If you decide to try this recipe, I might say this is my first time doing it, but you know, jalapenos are spicy, so if you like spicy, you could maybe add more than half. Or if you're not really big on spicy, maybe you don't even have to do the spicy aspect, or you could do like less than half. If you want like a mild salsa. I did exactly half because, like I said, I'm taking this to a cookout, and so I don't want it to be like, you know, too hot, especially since I'm putting all this elbow grease into doing this. I definitely want people to eat it up. Alright, so I've done the tomatoes, I've done the strawberries, I've done the pineapple, now I've done the jalapeno. I've tried to save the onion to last because I'm not really excited to cook the onion and have my hands smelling like onion. But here's the jalapeno. But yeah, so see you in a second when it's time to cut the onion. Okay guys, so now I am cutting up, I keep saying I'm cutting up the onion next, but of course the onion is like not getting cut up next. So now I'm cutting up the cilantro. This is the cilantro, like it's like a bush. And my recipe says that I need like 1/3 of a cup of cilantro. So I'm personally just cutting up the leaves. I don't know if you're supposed to cut up like the stems too. Like those of you who are chefs, you might know, yeah, you're supposed to cut up the stems, or no, you're not supposed to cut up the stems, but either or, I'm just doing the leaves. So when you make yours, you might use the stem too, or you might know, girl, you crazy, you're not supposed to use the stems. I don't know. I'm just chefing it up, guys, just chefing it up. But I'm not a chef though. Not a chef. Note to self, the recipe says that this takes about like 10 minutes prep time. This must be like a super mom that did this for in 10 minutes, because this is taking me like 30 minutes and I still gotta cut up the onion and the lime and stuff. Also too, might be because I'm making a video. That might be what's taking so long. So this might be crazy too, but I'm getting a measuring cup because it says like 1/3 of a cup. And I need to know like how much that is. And see, by the looks of this, I'm not even close. I just need to like cut it like a whole bunch more. So maybe this whole stalk is 1/3 of a cup. I don't know. I also rinsed it off before I started cutting it, and I'm just like cutting like literally straight from the bush. And then like you have like this pile of tree, and then I'm just like shredding it, like taking my knife and doing like this and getting it to like shred up and break up. And like I said, I'm just using the leaves, but like of course you're gonna get like some stem. But like I said, stem in some situations is good. Like I like broccoli stems or like asparagus or whatever. So stem might not be bad. And they say that like the healthiest part of the vegetable is in the stem. So who knows? But yeah, so this cilantro also smells really nice. I don't know how to describe it. And it also might be because I have this bowl of other stuff sitting like right beside me too. But this cilantro smells really nice. It's really refreshing and like a sweet smell almost. I don't actually know what it tastes like. Don't really want to taste it. But yeah, so let me get this cilantro cut up, and then the moment you guys have all been waiting for, the onion. So you can see like right there, my hands have cilantro. But there's like 1/3 of a cup, and so I filled it up with 1/3 of a cup of cilantro. Now I'm about to add it to the strawberries and the tomatoes, jalapenos, and the pineapples. Okay guys, so now it's time for the onion. I'm so excited. Not really. So here's the onion. The recipe requires a red onion, but it only requires half of the red onion. So I'm going to cut it in half. I can smell it already. I'm just this much in. I don't know if I'm cutting this onion right, but okay, so half the onion, the other half we will put back in that So I'm guessing I should probably like peel it first. I don't know. I don't really want my hands smelling like onions all day. Let's see. So I think I'm gonna peel this like top layer off. And then yeah, mince this onion up real nice and tiny. And then add it to the salsa. BRB. Guys, this onion is so like strong, I think that's the word I want to use, that like my eyes are, whoa. So yeah, I've heard before that there's some type of like remedy you can do to like make onions not make you cry when you're cooking them. So if you have any like special remedies or whatever that you do at home, feel free to place those in the comments below. Because this one right here is just like, whoa. Okay guys, so like I said, my recipe called for me to use half of an onion, but I'm not a really big onion eater. I like it in food, so that way it gives food that flavor, but the actual taste of of onions, I'm not really big on. So like I said, my recipe called for me to use a half a lemon. Y'all, I made sangrias yesterday and I used lemons, and lemon is just stuck in my head, but it's not like wine o'clock yet, so I can't really have a sangria yet, but that's where my mind is clearly. But my recipe calls for half of an onion, but I'm only gonna use like a quarter of an onion. I left like this much of my half because you know, salsa, or when you're making it yourself, you know, you get to decide what goes in it. And the recipe is just kind of like something for you to go by. But yeah, so, and I have like quite a bit of onions that I'm putting in it, because you mince them up. So like this is like, and there's cilantro in here too. Like they're really, really tiny pieces, and so it's like a whole lot, or at least in my eyes, the whole lot. If you like onions, then you can add, you know, like I said with the jalapeno, if you like onions, you can add, you know, the whole half. You can add the whole onion if you're an onion lover. But for me and my salsa, we're just gonna do like a quarter of an onion, and I think that that is plenty for me and my likings. So now I'm gonna rinse my hand off. Be careful with the jalapeno, because it's really, really hot. So if you like touch anything else, or like for instance your baby, since this is like a mommy page, I don't want them to get burnt, you know, from the jalapeno being too hot, or like trying to taste it or something. Yeah, so this is what I'm doing now. So I have everything in here, the strawberries, the pineapple, the tomato, the onion, the jalapenos, and the cilantro. So the last thing that you add is the lime. Here we go, there's another reason I'm saying lemon a lot. So the last thing you add is the lime. And so I'm gonna cut the lime horizontally. So I cut it in half, because you're gonna squeeze the lime juice all over your salsa. So let me move this cutting board real fast so I can like put this bowl right here. So yeah, so you're gonna just squeeze the lime. I'm gonna do, there we go. And when I was picking my lime, I tried to get a lime that was kind of softer, just because I knew I'd be doing this. But yeah, you want to get as much of that lime juice in there as possible. I'm doing this all by hand. But if you have like a lime or lemon squeezer at home, I'm sure that would be easier for you to use, and more effective to get most of that juice out of there. I think this side is pretty much done. And you can see like it's like empty now. So now I'm gonna do the other side. This is what it's like, empty, full. So yeah. This is where you use those muscles and really get in there and squeeze that lime. You're not actually cutting lime up into it, but I still washed my lime off beforehand, just so that way I know it's nice and clean. Just squirted that all over me. Alright, so I think that's good. So now I'm gonna use my little cake things, spread icing with, and really kind of mix everything in here with the salsa. Want to make sure I put it in sections when I put it in the bowl, so you want to make sure you really divide everything up, so like all the onions aren't in one bite, because that would be horrible for me, or like all of the jalapenos aren't in just one bite. And this is a very pretty summer, springy mixture with the colors. The smells are all really nice together because the pineapple and the strawberry are more sweet. You got that spicy in there from the jalapeno. You got the onion in there, give them whatever flavor that is. And then yeah, I'm gonna stir this a little bit more, and then I'll come back with the last ingredient. Okay guys, so the last ingredient is salt. I feel like salt is one of those things where it's kind of to taste. So if you like salt, but it does say add a half of a teaspoon. So I have a teaspoon. For those of you who don't know, the teaspoon is the smaller spoon in your little spoon set. So half of a teaspoon of salt. There's that. I'm gonna kind of divvy it up over the whole thing. Once you taste it, you might see that yours needs more salt or more whatever. And you can kind of add it to taste. And then, like I said, I am serving my salsa with the Tostitos lime chips, and that's going to give it just a little bit more of that lime flavoring. Like I just squeezed the lime juice in there as well. But yeah, so today we made a strawberry pineapple salsa. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you'll give this video a thumbs up. I hope that you will try this recipe. If you do try this recipe, please let me know. I would love to know what worked for you. If you added like more onion or whatever the case may be, or if you did less of something. Or I'd also like to see what it would be like if you added like if it had strawberries, pineapples, and like maybe mango or something. But yeah, like this video, share, comment, turn the bell on to get notifications. I don't post as much as I said. I'm so sorry. But your support really encourages me to continue to update videos on my YouTube channel. So yeah, there's our salsa. I'll turn the camera around so you can see. Thanks for watching, guys.